Hi guys, and welcome back to the Rare Record Room, and a big hello to any new viewers. This is where I share with you some of the records I've collected over the last 40 years or so. These range from 1950s rock and roll right up to the Britpop era of the 1990s. They're mostly United Kingdom pressings on all manner of labels, including the big mainstream companies like EMI, RCA and Decca, through to the smaller collectible subsidiaries such as Vertigo, DRAM, Blue Horizon, Immediate and EMI's Harvest and Apple labels. I hope you'll find these episodes interesting and informative. If that's the case, why not give us a like and take a look at some of my other record collecting videos. Thank you. In today's episode, I shall be looking at another of the so-called British invasion groups of the early to mid-1960s. Today it's the turn of the gritty Newcastle upon Tyne rhythm and blues group The Animals, apparently so named due to their raucous stage act. The band had become a big draw on the North East England club circuit before they took up a residency in Hamburg in 1963, before moving to London, where they befriended the Rolling Stones and would hang out at the Richmond Station Hotel's Crawdaddy Club, owned by the Yardbirds manager Giorgio Gamelski. Around this time, the Animals secured a slot at the Orchid Club in Purley, Surrey. They teamed up with hitmaker Mickey Most and signed to EMI's Columbia label. Their first single was Baby Let Me Take You Home, which was released in April 1964 and reached number 15 in the NME charts. This was followed by the transatlantic number 1 hit, The House of the Rising Sun. A string of hits came between 1964 and 1967, including Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, Bring It On Home to Me, We Gotta Get Out of This Place, and It's My Life. The Animals' self-titled debut album was recorded in January 1964 and released that November, reaching number 2 in the NME album chart. It consists of covers of rhythm and blues standards such as Dimples and Boom Boom by John Lee Hooker, Chuck Berry's Memphis, Tennessee and Around, plus songs by Bo Diddley, Larry Williams, Little Richard and Fats Domino. Original pressings were in mono only on the light blue and black design of the Columbia record label. It includes the standard period wording sold in the UK, subject to resale price conditions, as well as the notice recording first published 1964. The rim text reads Columbia Gramophone Company, and the inner bag is a die-cut Use Emitex paper sleeve, either with a tracing paper or a clear polythene liner. The album sleeve is the flipback type, which states patents pending, and is printed by Garrett & Lofthouse. Next up, it's the band's second LP, recorded in late 1964 and spring 1965 and released in May that year, reaching number 2 in the NME album charts. It was a similar blend of blues and rhythm and blues to their first LP, with covers of songs by the likes of Chuck Berry, Ray Charles, Jimmy Reed and Bo Diddley. The LP cover for Animal Tracks is one of the more memorable from the era, at a time when beat groups were still being photographed in a studio wearing expensive or matching suits. There's no such look here, with the Animals wearing American and Soviet-style combat gear, alluding to the ongoing Cold War and perhaps the Vietnam War, which had escalated significantly under President Johnson following the assassination of John F. Kennedy in November 1963. Original pressings were in mono only, again on the light blue and black Columbia label, with the sold in the UK wording, but without the recording first published text, which had recently been dropped. This copy here is the very first pressing of Animal Tracks, which is identified by the catalogue number 33SX1708. The second pressing, which followed very quickly, early 66, has only SX1708. The rim text now reads The Gramophone Company rather than Columbia Gramophone Company, although the sleeve logo retains the Columbia Gramophone wording. It's a flipback sleeve with patents pending stated and is printed by Garrett & Lofthouse. The inner bag is the die-cut Use Emitex variety on printed paper with a tracing paper liner. Around the time of Animal Tracks, the group appeared on a compilation LP called Scene 65. This was a showcase album for British rhythm and blues outfits signed to EMI's Columbia label, and includes acts such as the Yardbirds, Manfred Mann, Georgie Fame and the Blue Flames, and Alexis Corner's Blues Incorporated. The Animals, who were given top billing on the front cover and were the first band to be photographed on the rear, contribute 2 tracks. Scene 65 opens with Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood on side 1, which had been a top 3 single in the UK for the Animals, and on side 2 the song I'm Crying, which had reached number 8 in the British charts. The LP has the period Columbia label with the blue and black design, lettered in silver. It has a KT tax code and the familiar UK label text and rim text. The sleeve is the flipback style, printed by Garrett and Lofthouse, and the record is housed in a used Emitex die-cut paper sleeve with a tracing paper liner. This compilation album is pretty scarce and desirable and is listed in the current rare record price guide at £125. Animal Tracks proved to be the final studio album featuring the band's original lineup of Eric Burdon, Alan Price, Hilton Valentine, John Steele and Chas Chandler. The organist Alan Price, whose haunting riffs was a key element in the group's early success, left in mid-1965 due to personal and musical differences, forming the Alan Price Set. The Animals underwent many personnel changes thereafter, but suffered from some poor business management. They continued to record and evolved as a psychedelic group under the name Eric Burdon and the Animals when relocating to the US West Coast and embracing the Love Generation. Notable members of this incarnation of the band included the organist Zoot Money, famously of the Big Roll Band, and guitarist Andy Summers, who would later achieve global stardom as the guitarist with the band The Police. This version of the band, The Animals, or Eric Burdon and the Animals, broke up in December 1968 when Eric Burdon formed War in 1969. There were some sporadic reunions over the years, but this essentially is the concise history of the rhythm and blues band The Animals. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.